What is up with it? Today we are going to be watching round 9 of Sang Sang Events One Piece Treasure Cup in Mexico City. Shout outs to Sang Sang Events for streaming this tournament. Huge fan of everything they do. I believe this is the final round of Swiss, and we have BY versus Bonney, a matchup you don't see nearly as frequently as you did in '07 or 7.5 or even 8. You saw it a little bit more frequently. Bonney has definitely become less popular as things like Shanks and Blackbeard have come into power, both being not great matchups for Bonney currently. Though those matchups do get a little bit better, at least the Shanks matchup get a little bit better in 10, I believe, with the TECHS and Smoker card. So we're gonna go ahead and Garp, grabbing a Sabo. It will be interesting to see how the BY player maneuvers this. This has been a matchup that historically has been thought of to be Bonney favored, but a fair percentage of that was because of Zoro. And Bonnies don't really run Zoro anymore, right? Like it's just a card that is pretty much dead versus Doflamingo. You can't really play it because if you try to put it on the board, you just blow up and die most of the time. Um, Getting this double Garp search is really good for the BY player, not allowing the Bonney player to be able to baby 5 search on this turn without, it being swung over by just one of the Garps. So we're going to go ahead and take an aggressive approach with the BY deck. Not playing a Kuzon on 4. I know Kuzon on 4 is a very big deal for BY into Bonney. We're going to go ahead and restand 2 Dawn with the Cavendish. We have not been swinging yet with Bonney at the BY's life, so it looks like our plan is to starve the BY. Seems pretty reasonable to me. We're going to go ahead and grab a Rosinante off of this baby 5. Could potentially pair with a Kid at some point. However, it's not. Kid, I don't think, is as big of a problem for BY as some other decks. Being able to boost your leader really big, and basically being able to pop the Rosinante for free. If you play a baby Luffy into a Rocket Luffy, you get to pop it without wasting any Dawn. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and swing over that baby 5. We are on 6 Dawn. I imagine we'll be playing... Oh, a Sabo. Interesting. I was kind of expecting maybe a Fist Luffy instead. Um, but we seem like... I'm interested to see how this goes. I am definitely not an expert in this matchup. Um, so I'm interested in learning how they go about trying to win this. Okay, so Bonnie's still sticking to the Starve plan. I know historically Bonnie didn't necessarily want to starve because Tenzon could be a real problem versus BY. However, BYs aren't really playing Tenzon anymore. Like, I haven't really seen any lists running 10 drop Kuzon, so I could see how that strategy could be really good versus BY now if you're the Bonnie. I'm not exactly sure what the punish would be with modern BY lists. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attach a Dawn to this Kid. That's going to allow us a little bit of draw power when we rest this Sabo if the Luffy player chooses to attack. Um, mm-hmm. Okay, so we are going to burn ourselves and draw a card with this Luffy. I'm a fan of the Frieza shirt that Alexis is rocking. Choosing not to swing because we're not wanting to give the Bonney player the card draw off of the killer, I imagine is the reason. Or we didn't want our Sabo to be rested, or maybe both. I'm not exactly sure. We're gonna go ahead and baby search. From my perspective, I feel like this game is going pretty well for the Bonney player. Um, you know, uh, definitely we're being given a lot of time. We're getting to do a lot of searches. It looks like we have a bunch of 10 drop Dofis in our hand. So if our opponent starts putting, his leader and his board sideways, we're just going to freeze all of them. We have the Cavendish to pair with it. Our opponent hasn't played a Kuzan. We have a Basil Hawkins, which is just very sticky. Our opponent's basically never going to be able to remove that realistically. Um, So, Basil also being a card you don't necessarily see in a ton of Bonney lists. So interesting to see Oscar teching that. I wonder if there's a particular matchup he really loves it in. I'm not sure. I mean, of course, historically it has been pretty strong into Lucci, but Lucci's do have Jack now, so Jack plus like a Tempest Kick can pretty easily deal with it. Okay, so we can go ahead and rest. It could be the Sabo or it could be the Fist Luffy. I could see a world where we do either. Okay, gonna go ahead and rest the Fist Luffy. I feel like we could potentially take the free block with the Basil here, is what I would like to see. Ooh. Okay, for everything I just said about how they don't run Tenzon anymore, he's running Tenzon. So, um, this is where it's gonna start getting, you know, scary for the Bonney player. To be completely honest, this is not what you want to see if you are the Bonney. Um, wow, okay. Our opponent is probably gonna be able to. Okay, so we're gonna play the Shanks. Honestly, I feel like I would have preferred to see the Dofi come down, and then when we rest the Kuzan, then we shanks the Kuzan. Um, I feel like that has to be a bit of a misstep because now they can pop the shanks pretty easily, like really easily. And if we don't have another one, this Kuzan is going to get to just be there, right? Like in 08, 7.5, this Shanks didn't exist as an answer to the Kuzan. So the Kuzan, they'd play it and it was just devastating for the Bonney player. But really, it feels like currently with the Shanks in the list, if we see the Shanks, we should have a really easy removal of the Kuzan, right? It's not like the BY player can choose to not put the Kuzan sideways, right? Like he has to swing at some point, and as soon as he does, okay, now we get to pop the Kuzan. But I guess the thought process is probably they're gonna protect it with Sabo because the Shanks does KO, it doesn't trash. So I guess that's fair. If we just believe that we'll never get value from the Shanks because the Kuzan will always be protected from KO. That's, you know what, that's actually a really good point. Um, BY just being such a crazy deck, with that 5-drop Sabo really being the backbone. Um, okay, so we have been able to Flampe and Hiyori here. We will be awakening. We're going to go ahead and swing 10. We're going to go ahead and rest the BY leader, trying to slow down the pressure. I have to imagine a huge percentage of the time we'll be taking this, yeah. Okay, we did draw another Shanks. Okay, so it looks like they are going to go for the Luffy to pop our Shanks. This could be really good for us because if they don't have a way to play another Sabo on this upcoming turn, we could potentially pop their Kuzan with a Shanks, which would be really huge for us. Because I do think this Kuzan will just be a huge deal. We got the draw. Okay. I wonder if Alexis declared he was popping Shanks before he drew, and maybe Oscar was just a little slow to do it. If he drew and then declared the pop, that's a little risky. Because technically that's not the order that the card goes, and the pop is optional. So if you draw before declaring what you are popping, you are forfeiting the pop. So that could have been a huge misstep. I mean, obviously we can't hear the players. I assume he just verbally announced it. But just something to keep in mind if you are a yellow player who plays the Rocket Luffy, definitely make sure you are playing your cards and declaring their effects properly. Okay, so we were able to play this second Shanks to remove the 10 Zon. That is going to be really helpful here, I believe. The BY is still not in an awful position, though. Being able to awaken, have a life, be 9k, have blockers. It's definitely not an awful spot for the BY. I have to imagine we're going to rest the leader, just trying to slow down this pressure. I also have to imagine next turn we're going to start playing these 10 drop Doflamingos. Also interesting that we're choosing to swing 8 here instead of awakening and then swinging larger. Maybe we did that because we assumed they are always using this killer to block anyways. I'm not exactly sure. This loop is going to start being really strong for the BY, though. We're going to bring down this Kuzan. The Kuzan, I don't think is going to... I don't think it's going to be super relevant. Because the Shanks and the Doflamingo are still going to be out of range of popping. And the Basil will have something to rest, almost guaranteed. But I think just getting the card draw maybe is the most important thing. I'm uncertain. I think this is probably just, yeah, Rocket Luffy trying to keep our hand size healthy. I'm wondering if he'll use the pop now or if he'll save it. Yeah, he'll just save it. It gives us another swing next turn. There's nothing we like have to pop this turn. The 10 drop Dofi only getting to freeze 2 things is definitely not ideal. I wonder if we'll even turn this Hawkins sideways. I kind of imagine we won't. Turning the Shanks sideways doesn't even feel that good because they just block. So this definitely does not feel like a bad position for the BY player at all. I really like the way that he has been able to maneuver this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and Hody. I'm guessing we just kind of want to push damage, clear board up a little bit. The BY player has actually like 9 or 10 cards in hand. It's actually pretty crazy. Like, even though he's 7k 1 life, we can't even threaten game here anyways, I don't think. Like, we're going to get 2 cards out of his hand, and like that's fine. It's not like exceptional. Yeah. He still has so many cards in hand. Wow. Definitely a good spot for the BY player. We're going to go ahead and swing 11 at 8 here. That is, of course, going to die. We're going to rest one for the baby. Grabbing another baby. Not a phenomenal search, honestly. I don't think. Especially because, we don't have any Cavendishes on board or anything, so we don't have the extra Dawn to be able to play our 10 drop Doflamingo and still use this baby 5. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this 9 swing from the Moria. This game is starting to feel like it's going to be over in favor of the BY, honestly. Um, I could see a world where maybe we can get there with a Captain Kidd. Maybe we can kind of just stabilize using that. But definitely it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for the Bonney here, I think. Um, but maybe the BY doesn't have. Oh, he doesn't have um, another Moria, which is a really good news for the Bonney player, of course. Ooh. Okay, so we looks like we're gonna be able to remove this Shanks, which is just gonna be really bad. Oh my goodness, the Tempest kicks are coming in big. The Tempest kicks are coming in huge. Man, the card pool for BY is just so exceptional. Um, I absolutely believe it's maybe the strongest card pool in the entire game. Honestly, like the ways that you're able to do the things you're able to do is just so unique. It's so special. It's so powerful. So many different tech cards you can run. Whether it's I have my crew, Tempest Kick, Viola, Nami, Kuzan, Tenzon, Thunderbolt Sabo, um, 2K Sabo. I don't think we have that in the West yet, but we'll get it soon. Um, the card pool is just so vast. It's a finger pistol, like the Thunderbolt. The list goes on and on of all these different tech cards that you can put in your deck. Oh, and it looks like we maybe run. Oh my goodness, this is devastating. This is devastating if you are the Bonney player. Oh my goodness, you are sick to your stomach. Oh my goodness, bro, is he playing Lucci or is he playing BY Luffy? Cuz he just removed a 7 and a 9 drop in the same turn. And he boosted his leader to 9k and he played a blocker. And I think he used like maybe one or two cards from his hand because the Tempest Kicks all replaced themselves. The Rocket Luffy's all replaced. I think he only lost. I think he went card neutral. I think before he drew for turn and after he passed, I think he had the same number of cards in his hand, which is oh my god, that was such a disgusting turn. BY, I gotta say, when you're not playing versus it and you're just marveling at the things it can do, it is really exceptional to watch. I will say though, it is hella annoying to play first. But wow, you just have to appreciate. You just have to appreciate. So I imagine we're just not swinging this turn. I could see are we gonna play just Kuzan and pass? No way, right? Wow, we're gonna play over our own Moria. We're like, hey, look, this is gonna get insta locked over and over again, anyways. I don't need it. So yeah, we're definitively not swinging this. Wow, I think he's worried about decking out. I think he's unironically worried about decking out. The card draw is insane. He's just drawn so many cards this game. Not a huge fan of the mixed rarity Kuzans, to be honest, but that's okay. We gotta someone get Alexis some championship Kuzans. I like this dude a lot. I like the way he plays. I like the way he plays a lot. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything different that the Bonney player could have done from what I've seen. I think, this is just a classic example of like BY doing his thing. Like maybe Oscar could have been more aggressive to prevent Alexis from playing the tens on while healthy. But the thing is, tens on is in no one's deck list. There's no way that you can expect it right now. In the current meta game, you cannot expect it. So, I mean, this is a wrap. Oscar has nothing good to play this turn. He is not. There's nothing in the entire Bonney deck that's good on this turn. Your opponent's entire board, besides his leader, is standing. This Shanks is a vanilla. Like, it's over. It's absolutely, absolutely, absolutely over. And the crazy thing is, oh my goodness, if we have another Tempest Kick, we're just removing the Shanks. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and use the Luffy effect to draw. We're gonna go ahead and rest the Luffy. Okay, thinking about how we're gonna deal with this 9K swing. We're gonna take it. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and go 7 with Sabo. We smell blood in the water. We are going for it. The Bonney player does have infinite cards in hand and a blocker, but ultimately, if we keep swinging, they're gonna run out of cards. It's just as simple as that. You can only do this for so long. We're gonna go ahead and minus the Hawkins. Oh my goodness. This is so crazy too, because now our entire board is sideways. If our opponent does not block with the Hawkins and we have a baby Luffy in hand, we will be popping the Kuzan, or the Basil Hawkins. We will be popping it essentially for 0 Dawn, 0 cards in hand. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He has it for sure. He has it. Oh, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. He tried to bait him into thinking he had it. He baited me. I thought he had it. I mean, this dude's the GOAT, so I thought like surely he just has it. But I was wrong. I was mistaken. Okay, I wonder if we're going to be 7K 1 life or if we're going to go up to the 9. I think we're going to go up to the 9, especially, just putting another blocker, putting another active thing on board seems relevant. Ooh, I've been sneezing today. My apologies. Okay. Trashing a Moria off of the Sabo, telling our opponent, look, this game is going to end. I do not need another Moria. If you try to play a Doflamingo here, I do not care. I will just kill you with these Sabos anyways. Okay, so gonna swing 9. We're gonna 1K out of it. Gonna swing 11. Gonna 2K, 1K, and then swing 12. And he has the double 2K. His hand was so healthy. Alexis wins. The rest of his hand was a 2K and a Moria. Oh my goodness. What a absolute masterclass from Alexis on how to beat something that has historically been considered a very hard matchup for you. I enjoyed watching this a lot. I hope you guys did as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.